Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dorothy and I am an international student currently doing my PhD in Canada. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. I'm going to be telling you about the documents that are required for your Canadian study visa. And so yes, I did mine quite recently, and so I'm going to be letting you know all the documents that I had to prepare, all the things I needed to do before getting my visa approved. And yeah, so let's just go straight into the video. So one of the major documents that you need to have with you whilst you're doing your application is you should have a letter of acceptance from the university that you'll be going to. And so yes, it has to come from a designated learning institution in Canada, and it has to have an official letterhead, and it should include details of your program. And so for me, I'm currently at Trent University, and so I got my admission letter, and it came with like a funding letter and then acceptance letter. So the acceptance letter, admission letter, and then the funding letter, all of it in one document. And so I had to have that. When you are filling the visa form on the IRCC portal, you would be asked to put like certain details from the designated learning institution. And so if your school is not a designated learning institution, I don't think you're even going to be allowed to continue filling that form. And so you have to make sure you're applying to a school that is recognized. It's a recognized or accredited institution in Canada. The next document you should have, of course, is a valid passport. It's one of the things that I have mentioned from the beginning of my channel and on one of my earliest videos, is that you should have your valid passport. And so yes, if you are in Ghana or if you are anywhere in the world, of course, you should have a passport. And sometimes it's a bit difficult to acquire a passport. I can understand that, but right now, before you even make your application, before you apply to any university outside the country, you should have your passport. So go and apply for your passport and get it. And if you have one, you should make sure that it's not nearing its expiration date as you are leaving the country. So for Canada, your passport must be valid for the entire duration of your intended stay. So for me, at the time of my application, I had 7 more years for my passport to be valid, and I'll be studying for 4 years. And so I have more than enough time on my valid passport to be able to finish my program and still have some more years on top of my passport's validity. I hope you are getting me. I think I was just rambling there, but it must be valid for the entire duration of your stay. So if you intend on staying for 3 months, you should have more than 3 months validity on your passport. Now the next document is that you should have proof of financial support. So you have to prove that you can pay for your tuition, your living expenses, and also your return transportation. So this is for maybe a program that you're doing for a year or 2 years. They want to know that you have enough funds to take care of yourself here, to pay your tuition fees, because that is the most important thing for the institutions here for international students. You have to pay, you should have enough money to pay your school fees. You should have enough money to be able to go back home when you are done with your program. And so yes, the things that they would accept as proof of funds is bank statement. So if you'll be funding, it's a self-funded trip, you need to have your bank statements. To you submit your bank statement 4 to 6 months of your bank statements to show them that, oh, you have this money in your bank account. This is your how you spend money, more or less. They are just checking all of that to see that you have enough money to take care of yourself when you come here. Also to see if you've been getting a steady income, if this money is a savings, and when did you save it. They just want to know. So up to 6 months back is what they will require from you. For me, I use just 4 months, but in some cases you can use up to 6 months. So it's 4 to 6 months. I use 4 months and I still got a visa. So just for you to know. Another thing that you can use as an acceptable form of proof of funds is like a letter from a sponsor. So sometimes if you have like a relative, a family member who will be funding your studies, they want to just know if the person is able to take care of all of those things that you need to like make payments for. So they would request that they'll request that your sponsor would give a letter, and attached to the letter is their financial proof. So maybe their bank statement to show that, okay, so they'll be able to take care of you. So in the first case, if you are self-funding, you are going to have to submit your bank statements. But if you have a sponsor who is doing that, they will submit their bank statements, but they have to include a letter to say that, okay, so I hereby by this letter say that I want to sponsor this individual who is my nephew, who is my niece, who is my cousin, who is my daughter, all of those things. If you have a sponsor, they'll have to add a letter and then proof of their finances. The next thing that you can use as a proof of fund under the documents to prove that you are able to take care of yourself here is if you have a scholarship, you should attach your scholarship or funding letter under the part where they are saying submit proof of funds, because the scholarship is what they are going to see that, okay, so your tuition is going to be paid, you're going to get some money to take care of yourself, so yeah, you are fine. So these are the main things that you can use as proof of funds. If you have like other cases where maybe you have like an education loan, you'd have to submit proof of that. If you are having like a guaranteed investment certificate, but all of that, they are the special cases, right? So the ones that I am well versed in is the ones I've mentioned. My next point would be an immigration medical examination. So it is required if you be staying for like more than 6 months, and if you are coming from certain countries. So for me, I was coming from Portugal, and so I already did a medical report before, like when I was leaving Ghana to Portugal. Because I was there and I've been there for more than 3 years, I didn't need to do a medical examination. But if you're coming from a country where it is required, you are not exempted from that, then it must be done by a panel physician that is approved by an IRCC. So just know that it has to be somebody who is approved. So in Ghana, I'm sure they have some specific hospitals that have physicians that are approved by IRCC, and so you'd have to find that out and then make sure you get those particular people or physicians to check you. And then there's a whole process where the doctor will send them the results of all the tests you did directly to the visa application people, those who will be like checking your documents to see if you are eligible for the visa. It will go to them directly, you don't have to take it. And so that's why it needs to be somebody approved from the IRCC, then the person knows what exactly to do and how to get it to them. The next thing is a police clearance certificate. They just want to know your criminal history. And so when I was leaving Ghana, I had to do that for my Portuguese visa. And when I was coming to Canada, I had that one. And then I had to also issue like request for one in the from the Portuguese like police. And so I also got a certificate from that and attached it to my visa application documents. The next one I'll be talking about is statement of purpose or a letter of explanation. So that one is like, because for the Canadian visa, you don't do an interview, like let's say in the case of the US like visa application process, there's no interview, so there's no place for them to ask you questions. And so it's the explanation letter that you need to like really write and pour out your whole heart and let them understand that this is why you want to come, this is why you deserve to be given the chance to come, because of so and so and so. I believe I'll do a video right after this one, maybe reviewing or reading some excerpts of my explanation letter for you, so that you just get an understanding of what you need to write about when you are doing your when you're applying for the Canadian study visa. So it generally, as I already mentioned, it's explaining why you want to study in Canada, why the program, why do you want to even study. You need to talk about that. And this is why you are even given a chance to, because there's no interview for them to ask you your intentions. It gives the people who will be making a decision a chance to see that, okay, this is why this individual wants this visa, and so these are the reasons. And so, are these reasons good enough? Do we care about this sub story? But yes, that's generally why. And they want to just know if your career goals like fit into the program that you are applying for. Because if you say that maybe I want to be a journalist, and then your program is nowhere near journalism, like there has to be a link. And so you have to consider all of that. My next point is your educational documents. So that's like generally all the documents that you've had, like your degree certificate, your transcripts, your like documents that you needed to submit for your application to even be admitted into the school. So your transcripts, your degree certificates from all institutions that you've attended, all educational institutions that you've attended. So for me, I had to do that for my bachelor's degree and then also for my master's degree. And so I had to have all of those documents. I submitted them. I sent like physical copies to the university, and then I also had to have copies on me so that I'll use that for my application. And then also, even when I was traveling at the immigration, I needed to show them that from your previous schools, your transcript and your certificates, all of them, you need to submit all of that. So for my supporting documents, I had to gather all other documents that were not required in the first 3 slots that I mentioned. So my explanation letter, or my SOP, more or less, it was like 3 pages. Then my admission and enrollment letter. Then I included all of my transcripts and all of my any proof that shows that I studied in Portugal, I studied in Greece. I put all of that there. Then I included pictures of my parents and then also my grandmother, and I put my dad's Ghana card and my mom's passport, so that they know, because I've already mentioned them in my application as these are my parents, and so just for them to know who are the people I'm taking the pictures with. Then I added, like, I was doing a voluntary I was under an NGO. I was working as a volunteer, so I had like proof of that. That's what I was doing at the time of my visa application. And so I had to put that, okay, so this is I'm volunteering, I'm currently a volunteer, just to show them that, and then I added my CV. So all of these documents is to convince them that you are the best candidate. If they have like 5 slots for study permits or study visas, I want them to know that I am qualified. And so adding my CV was like, okay, this person has all of these qualifications. She surely has passed her 4 years. She did her 4 years bachelor, she did her 2 years masters, and so definitely when she comes to Canada, she will finish her PhD. She has these interests. It aligns with what she has written in her explanation letter and what the program she's going to be doing in Canada. And so all of that. So I had all of those documents. Yes, so with the pictures of your parents and family, just for them to see like the family ties, that you've already written that in your explanation letter, but you also have to let them know, you get it, these are the people, these are the faces behind this. If you've written in your letter that I want to become somebody because of these people, you want them to have that human this thing, so you add pictures, you get it. A friend of mine who had like property, he had bought some property in his country, he added the deeds to those properties, like scanned copies of it, to his explanation letter under the supporting documents. And so that is how he was able to do it. So when you are done, you make your payments. You're supposed to, your application fee is like 150 Canadian dollars, and then your biometric fee is 85 85 Canadian dollars. And so you'd make that payment, and then they'll give you a receipt, and then you'd have to book an appointment at the visa application center. Thankfully for me, there was a visa application center in Lisbon in Portugal, and so I was in Porto. I just went to Lisbon, did my biometrics, and then I was called to bring my passport. I had to send it back there. They sent it to France, it came back, and I went for my passport with my visa in it. It took me, it was like, I think less than a month, so maybe like in the 4th week I was told that my visa had been approved. So yeah, it took less than a month. Sometimes it takes 15 weeks. That's like the longest you can get for study permits. So depending on which part of the world you're coming from, and the let's say the influx, or how many people are applying for the visa, will determine maybe how long the process is. So I would say that not a lot of people are applying for study permits maybe in Portugal to go to Canada, but compared to maybe Ghana, where you have more international students wanting to pursue their further studies in Canada. And so yeah, I think I've been yapping too much. Thank you so much for watching the video up to this point. Have you already done your Canadian visa, or you are looking for like an idea or points to like explore before you do your application? Just let me know in the comment section. Tell me what you think about the video. Was I talking too fast? Was I talking too slow? Please let me know. And yeah, thank you so much again for watching the video. I'll see you in my next video. Remember to stay awesome, to stay different, and stay offbeat. Bye.